Right, Sergeant Jackson. So we got some feedback from some of our viewers commenting on our TikToks. And the one said that they had a recruit that was sitting there taking a dump and he saluted the officer of the day and all hell broke loose. Now, there's been some controversy on could this even possibly happen? Does the OD, for people that don't know, officer of the day, do they ever come into the barracks as a drill instructor yourself? Is that something you ever saw?
Uh, Very rarely when I was on the street did I see the officer day come through. Very rarely. Now, especially in the shitter. Now, I don't know what the shitter situation was when you were in boot camp at Paris Island, but when I was there in '86, there was no stalls, there was no nothing. There was just a line of toilets on one side and a line of toilets on the other side, and literally you sit there staring at one another, huffing and puffing and whatever. But we never saw the officer day come in there. The only time I saw an officer come in when I was on the street was after I had just field day ahead with my kids. And when I say field day ahead, I'm having a shower and I bleached them.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
Now, but when you were a drill instructor, that was in the 90s though, right?
yes.
You went through in 86, you said.
86 I went through.
Okay. And you were didn't you say you were a DI in the same barracks that you were a recruit?
I was a DI in the same squad base. I was a recruit, and that was very, very freaky for me. Same quarter deck that I got slayed on, I was slaying my recruits on. So it was very weird there.
Like, how's that feel? Because I've always kind of thought there would be this cool part to being a drill instructor, because as drill instructors, like you guys, you make Marines.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I mean, that's like, what's better than being a Marine is being the person, the people, the Marines who make Marines. I feel like that's such an incredible honor.
It is. It's the best thing I ever did in my life. I'm so proud. I'm very proud of that drill instructor ribbon. That's the only thing I really earned.
Right.
Blood, sweat, and tears. But yeah, it's an honor. They say take the top 10% to be drill instructors and the top 10% of the American population to be Marines. So you're actually a maker of Marines. And Marines, man, I don't know if I can handle that. Yeah, I'll try to handle being the guy that makes the Marines. Yeah, it's a tough damn job. Hardest job I had the whole time I was in the Marine Corps. The hardest job. Hated it, hated it, hated it. Couldn't wait to get done. But
Really?
once I got done, I still can't stop talking about it. And that's the same with all drill instructors that I've encountered. And no, and especially when you have your recruits come back and see you. On the TikTok platform, I found several of my recruits that follow me. On Facebook, I have two of my recruits, and I do have a funny story. The first recruit that found me on that Facebook Messenger, I kept getting this thing say, "Give me a call. It's very important." And I'm like, I don't know who this is. Ignore. A couple of days go by, and he goes, "You were my drill instructor. Please call me." I'm like, "Oh, this is important." So I called him, and he goes, "Hey, this is Bobby Cross. I was one of your recruits." He gave the platoon number and everything, and he goes, "You were my heavy." I'm like, "Well, great, thanks for calling me." And we kind of caught up. I said, "So what are you doing?" He goes, "I retired as the first sergeant 3 years ago."
Wow.
I'm like, "Oh shit, 3 years ago you retired as a first sergeant. Damn, I feel old."
Yeah.
But no, he's a great friend of mine. He lives up in North Carolina. He's invited me over, but I just haven't had a chance to go up there. But yeah, and he was a drill instructor, a senior drill instructor, and he came back again. And he was an officer instructor at OIC, training officers as well. But
Wow.
he gave me very big accolades. He goes, he goes, "No, Tim, you were rough on us." And he goes, "I molded myself in my career, especially while I was a drill instructor, after how you treated us. And the way you trained us is the way I trained my recruits." And he goes, "I basically got my career and my shape as a Marine for you. Thank you." And it was very humbling. So that's, after you get off the street, that's the most humbling thing you can do. And it does make it worthwhile, even though it's the shittiest job I ever had.
So what's it like then? I mean, that's super awesome. Not only did you you make Marines, but then you find out, that one of them, just let alone went on to become a first sergeant,
Right.
had a solid career, retired. B became a drill instructor himself, and I guess was inspired and motivated and modeled himself after the way that you were a DI. I mean, like I can't really even think of what that's like. Just how cool is that?
It's so cool. And then see, I was a drill instructor at First Battalion Delta Company, and that recruit, that first sergeant, was also a drill instructor at First Battalion Delta Company. So it's just like the circle's unbroken, you know.
So you were there as a recruit and then a DI, and he was there as a recruit, then a
And a
DI.
DI, yes, sir.
That's incredible, man.
It
Those are
is.
those like cool stories that you know, and that's I was talking last night. I did a live on TikTok, I was telling you earlier,
Right.
and that's how we met also, is just from being on TikTok. And the one great thing I can say about that platform is getting to meet guys like yourself, and then we come together, and these awesome stories that we get to hear and share, from our time in the Marine Corps, like the one that you just shared with us. Like that's super
Right.
awesome, man.
But not only did I, reconnect with some of my former recruits, some of my former drill instructors I worked with, drill instructors I trained as a heavy. I'm friends with a couple of those, and one of them, he was one of my new hats. I think it was probably my last cycle or second of the last cycle I did, and he was one of my new hats, and he's my third hat, and he was outstanding. And then he went on to be a senior drill instructor and all that kind of stuff too. And then he found me on TikTok as well, so we reconnected. And he retired as a captain,
Wow.
so he went on farther too. So and then I got stories of the other third hat. I mean, Willis. I mean, that boy was crazy. I mean, I had to reel that sucker in. I was just always, you can't do that, man. I mean, I come out of the duty hut and he's got a recruit with the pull up bar under his armpits. And I'm like, what the hell are you doing? I get down, recruit. I said, drill instructor, what are you doing? He goes, working on pull ups.
We're going
Yeah, I'm like, come on, dude. You can't be doing that shit.
You guys have some of the best stories, man. And like, I'm so glad that you found me. We found each other.
Yeah,
And then
exactly.
when we've got DIs drop it in, and they'll say some things, and I'll ask them in the comments to share one of their funny stories. And uh, what you guys are really, really good at, right? What you guys are really, really good at is that everything should have a training purpose, right?
Right.
And you guys are really, really good at finding, painful ways for us to learn and get training value out of that. Really good. You guys are masters at it.
Yes, we are. And a lot of it, we're just screwing with you too. It has no training value, so to say, but it works. It makes you tougher. So yes, there is a training value.
Yeah. Well, that's just like one of my last videos. We're talking about, I kind of forgot all about grass week till someone brought it up.
Right.
And grass week sucked. I mean, I felt like we were in the kneeling all week long. But you know what? I went 5 for 5 or whatever. I went perfect out of the kneeling, So
Yeah.
even though it sucked, and a lot of people agree it sucked, going through that week had value. It
Yeah, it
prepared us
did.
for
And like
qualifications.
I know the video because that's when I think we first started interacting was off of that video, the grass week video. And the value I didn't really understand until after I'd gotten out of the Marine Corps and got into long shooting and stuff like that.
Yes.
Then I'm like, yeah, the data book. I mean, I never used the data book. I mean, we had it in boot camp and they said, plot your shot. And whatever, win value. Who cares? Just get me through this.
Yeah.
But didn't make sense until after the fact. And I'm like, you know what? These guys knew what they were talking about from the get go. And I
Yeah.
really learned that when I was at coach's school. So it really had an impact on there, but not as much as after I got out and I was, reloading my own ammo and shooting on my own. And I'm like, yeah, this makes perfect sense now.
Yeah. I mean, there's a method to the madness, I guess they say.
Yeah, because grass week is boring. I mean, and it don't stop at boot camp. Every time you requal, there you are. So, after I went through coaches school, I was responsible for teaching the company. Anytime the company had a range detail, I had to go out and give all the classes, take them through the snap in week. And then, of course, when they range, I let the coaches out on the range take care of that. But I did all the classroom instruction during grass week for the company. So, yeah, and it sucks. You lay in that grass, and it's parasiling, and sand fleas are in your face, and you're like, oh man, can't wait till this is done. You want to go to the bar when you get done? Hell yeah. You know, yeah, just go through the motions.
So we talk a lot about what was like the suckiest week for us as recruits. What's like the shittiest or most boring week as a drill instructor when you're going through a cycle?
I would have to say mess and maintenance week. It depends on what your platoon gets. Well, you got half the platoon doing part of them doing maintenance stuff. The other half's doing the mess duty. So you just gotta cart them off to the chow hall if you're on duty for the mess guys, and the other ones you just send them on their own, and you're really just not doing a whole lot of anything then. So
Yeah.
that's the most boring time, but we welcome that because that's downtime for us. I mean,
Right.
otherwise we're there all the damn time. So
Yeah, you guys and go into that because I mean, I felt like I remember very few times, like we'd be standing outside a chow or something, either getting ready to go in or leave, and our heavy had us, and senior was going home, and they'd make us all line up and wave goodbye to daddy, you know.
oh.
So there's very few times I remember the drill instructors like leaving or not being around. What's your what's your schedule like whenever you're a DI?
Okay, well, after you pick the platoon up, it's lights to lights for the first 2 weeks. I mean, you're
Okay.
there.
Yeah.
So the lights come on, we'll say 5:05 or 4:30, whatever. Usually we're on deck by 03:04. We're on deck, ready to go.
Damn.
And after the lights go off, we're there until the senior says, "All right, go home." And then we'll go home with them. By the time you get home, try to eat. You can't de-stress because you're back up at 3 o'clock in the morning to go back to work, depending on where you
Yeah.
live. Now I lived off base, so I'd get home, uh, I have some dinner, lay down, and the alarm clock went off like a second later, and I'm back up. Of course, you got uniform prep, you got everything's got to be ready to go anyway. So always did that in the duty hut. The uniform's ready to go, and go home, get some chow, maybe some shut eye, come back, and it's game on. And that happens for the first 2 weeks. So the senior pulls duty for the first week or two, so he there's every night until we start the regular duty schedule. Now, if
Okay.
you're a new hat, you're there lights to lights until you're qualified to go home. So,
Okay.
but a more experienced drill instructor, they'll actually get to go home, at a decent time. And the recruits never see that because you go out the back hatch.
Yeah.
They never see you leave. They never see you come. They
Yep.
just think you're there 24/7, and it's
Yeah.
designed that way. We're just like, oh, where they come from? They're just everywhere. And that's the design of it.
Yeah. The design that goes into it, whenever you get out and 20 years down the road and start looking back, you really start to find, like I find a great appreciation for, the system and how
Right.
you guys went about and did things like that. Now, because you're talking about a new hat, does a new hat actually have the DI cover?
Yes.
Okay. So when I went through, we had some guys show up that had the 8 point. Are
Yep.
they still in school? Can you explain that?
Those are drill instructor school students, and it's our field trip in DI school. That's what we called it, our field trip. So when you're getting almost before graduation, they try to get you to go to the same battalion you're going to work at. Unfortunately, I went to 3rd Battalion for my field trip, uh, even though I ended up at 1st Battalion. But it's just a day, and of course, you can't wear the campaign cover or a duty belt because you're not a real drill instructor.
Yeah,
Then
that
the
too.
drill instructors come out and say, "Hey, we got some visiting drill instructors from San Diego," so or whatever, and You go around and you kind of observe what the drill instructors are doing when they kick the BDR in the morning and the evening, and try to do some yelling and screaming yourself. And that's what you do at one day. It's our field trip.
So whenever you are a hat, we asked about the worst week. What was like the week you just loved the most when you had a cycle?
Probably the week we graduated.
Yeah.
At the end, you know, uh, we didn't have the crucible yet. Well, actually,
Okay.
my last two cycles we had the crucible, but it's not like they have it now. After you get the crucible, you're a Marine, and they just lay off you for that last week or so, and
Right.
you're a Marine then.
Right.
When I was on the street, after we went through the crucible, they were still recruits. They weren't Marines until they graduated.
When I
So
went through in '03, it was the same way.
yeah, yeah,
Um, we got our
but
Eagle Globe and Anchor on Family Day, not at the end of the Crucible, like when it first kicked off. We got it on Family Day, and then the next day's graduation.
we never gave it out when I was on the street.
Oh,
So
so like I heard a lot of the West Coast, the Hollywood guys, they would get it. This was late '90s, and I guess before '03, before my time.
yeah,
Whenever they made the Reaper, when they made it to the top of that mountain, is when they would get
right.
theirs.
Yeah, I heard that as well. But no, we did all they had when I was on the street was we had when they got back from the crucible. There's a big whatever in front of the monument. The CO or somebody come out and say, "Hey, good job," whatever. Now you have a warrior's breakfast. They went to
Yes.
chow hall and they had steak and eggs and pretty much free day the rest of the day, which means they just got back from the hump or whatever. They got a full belly, and we still come out there. All right, now it's time to clean our gear. So you're not done yet, suckers. You're not
Right.
done. So it's not like now where they call you sergeant or whatever. Or I don't know what they do now, but
Me either.
but
We we're gonna see if this actually happens. We had a guy drop in the live last night who's leaving, and March 10th, he's doing the buddy program with his brother-in-law, which sounds wild.
wow.
And we talked to him about coming on before he ships, and then during boot leave. I think that'd be kind of cool to get,
Oh yeah, definitely.
do like a 2-part with this guy
Uh-huh.
before he went in, what it's like now, and then just answer some questions and stuff that he might have as well.
Sure.
So now you tagged me in a video with the old Gunny and Barry Bull, and it was the Hat Wars. Can you
Yes.
explain the Hat Wars to
Okay,
us?
this has been probably maybe 3 years ago. And
Okay.
it was between me and the old Gunny and Jonas the Mad Hatter. And they would start, posting who's better, Paris Island or San Diego. So it just turned into, videos between all three of us. And we just named it the Hat Wars. You
Okay.
know, uh, Gunny Dan was doing skits. I was doing skits. Jonas was doing his skits. And that was the Hat Wars. And then uh, the old Gunny kind of disappeared for a while. And then now Jonas is deployed. So it kind of went away. But yeah, that's about 3 years ago or so, I'd say. Been a long time ago because I had to bring up the old videos. I had to go way back in time.
Yeah.
And my scroll there, so to find those videos. But yeah, the Hat Wars. That was just fun joking between East Coast and West Coast back then. It was a great times.
So that's always been a thing, right? It's kind of funny. It's how that's just a thing, right? Paris Island versus Hollywood.
Right.
Now we can make fun of them here in a minute, but before we do, what do you know that are actual like distinct differences between the two? I know there's training schedules a little different because I talked to some guys, but as far as training,
I don't know a lot about their they're set up different. The training schedule is the training schedule. It's going to be the same on both coasts because it's Marine Corps standard. So the training schedule is going to be the same. They set up their whole drill instructor unit is kind of set up differently than ours. I mean, basically, we have a senior drill instructor, a heavy, the knowledge hat, and then the stress hats, all the new hats. That's it. Basically, the new guy comes on, he's the kill hat, and he can't. He does his time, lights the lights, working his ass off. And the next cycle, normally he's the knowledge hat, and then the next cycle, if it works out and he's proficient enough, he'll be the heavy because the heavy does everything. And then if you make senior drill instructor, then you're a senior drill instructor. Out there, they have different. I don't know. You got to. It's kind of like a testing process. You got to be selected to move up to the next billet and all that kind of stuff. And of course, Parasonic calls the heavy, which is the drill instructor junior to the senior. Out there, they call him the J hat. So I don't know why they call him the J. I guess it's the junior drill instructor instead of an assistant drill instructor. I don't know. But at Parasonic, you just show up and you bust your ass, and hopefully you make it up to the next step so you don't have to work as hard as the next cycle. So I think that's the only difference I know of is how the drill instructor unit is set up out there. But as far as the training schedule should be the same, minus they have the hills. They got to go Pendleton for the range, where Parasolic is self-contained. We do everything right there.
So what makes San Diego easier?
They're in Hollywood, man. I know it's easier. They go to baseball games. They go to Legoland. I mean, come on now. What the heck?
They actually, like, people joke, but they actually legitimately do take recruits to the Padres game.
Yes, they do.
That's crazy. Yep. That's
and
crazy.
They can't deny it because it's on TV every time. They say, here's the Marines. And
they have their own little section. Up far away from everybody.
Right.
Why do they do that? Is it like a PR thing?
Most likely it's a PR thing. I don't know how that even got started, but it sounds like bullshit to me. But
yeah. So now they have on both coasts integrated male and female, like both coasts, right? Like I heard last night, there's not even a 4th battalion anymore.
No, they deactivated that. So
when you have integrated female male recruits, you also then have integrated female and male drill instructors.
Correct. Now I live in Hilton Head, South Carolina, which is just right next to Parris Island.
Right.
So I'm in the loop there, and anything that happens in recruit training, it hits the paper the next day. But I have a friend. He's got a nice little tavern at the top of his house, the Tufflehunt Tavern.
Yes.
And he often invites drill instructors, officers, whatever. And I've been invited over several times, so I've talked to them since they did the integration. I was talking to a first sergeant once. I said, so what do you think's going on? And he explained it. I mean, and he's like, yeah, they're integrated. And I said, what do you think about that? And he has some of his other drill instructors around. He goes, going great. As he bit the end of the cigar off. and afterwards he goes, yeah, I think it's bullshit. But I said, how's the training going? He goes, well, they're still working on that. And then about 7, 8 months later, I had another group, and I was invited over there, and I talked to a female officer. She's a serious commander. And I just asked her, I said, ma'am, how's the integration, how's that working? I mean, does it make sense? Does it make it harder? She goes, it does definitely make it harder.
Right.
So I said, would you agree with the fact it'd be better to have a 4th battalion like it was? She goes, yes, I think so. That way they're self-contained, because right now they have the males on one deck for a platoon, the females on another deck. They got integrated male and female drill instructors that train the whole platoon together. But then you have a female on that deck taking care of the females, shit, shower, shave routines. So that makes no sense. It's easier to just have a 4th battalion and you're done.
So where's the actual integration in marching, drill? I guess, I would love to know more. And I guess that's why we're talking about this. Because when they're doing McMap, when they're doing Pugil sticks, like are dudes and chicks fighting Pugil sticks?
See, that I'm not sure of.
Like, not to say that I couldn't get my head taken off by a female. I'm sure there's plenty of females that whoop my ass.
So you got the males on one deck, the females on another deck, and then after reveille, they get together, they march to chow, and then they march everywhere together. The whole training day is together. The only time they're separated is the evening and BDR when they're showering and their inspections, the health inspections or what have you. They're separated then for sleeping wise, but they train. They do everything the same. So I don't know. I just know when 4th Battalion deactivated, I talked to some people and I thought it was bad because female Marines, that was their thing. And there's a lot of history and pride that goes with 4th Battalion.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the way they sing their songs, and they had that, they were all self-contained. And you always saw a female platoon. You see them at the range sometimes when you're going through or whatever. And I remember taking the boys to the range, and a female platoon would come up, and I happened to be a DI school with this one female drill instructor. And I said, guys, don't even look at them. I say, if you even look at them, I want to let the drill instructor take care of themselves.
Yeah.
And damn, if they got to take a look. And then here comes the female drill instructor. And I said, you think we're bad? Just sit back and wait. Here she comes. Just, I'm like, have at him. Have at him. I warned them motherfuckers. So
yeah. Well, like, so when we were on the same training schedule, when I went through, I was 2nd Battalion Golf with 4th Battalion. I want to say it was Papa. So when we went to different things, we're on the same training schedule as the females.
Right.
And so, we had interactions like the running by, good morning, ma'am.
Right.
Stuff, all those things. We learned that proper greetings of the day, so on and so forth. But yeah, so it's not even true integration. It ain't like Starship Troopers integration where they're showering together.
No.
I mean, if that's what they want, you need to do full on and then like not hang pull-ups, but actual pull-ups, make everything equal.
Right.
I don't know if you did this to people or if you experienced it or if there's a rhyme to it, because I heard this happens to everybody almost that goes through. But whenever we get sent into the shower and we just get packed into one corner, one guy was telling the story where like they made them do squats and stuff and dudes are hitting them, guys are touching each other. And, we joke about it, but it really breaks down your insecurities, right? When you're just packed naked with a bunch of dudes, and then now you look at how we are. We love the hell out of each other.
Right.
We have no prejudices against each other. Like, we're brothers, man. Like, we showered naked together. Like, that means something.
Yeah. It was kind of funny that one day you brought up the kid that pissed himself or whatever.
Yeah.
And you to get up in the morning, you're still asleep and you're doing the count off, and you looking across the squad bay and you got their morning boner sticking up. Then there's one guy or a couple guys that got the little piss stain on the front.
We had, I want to hear, well, we'll get into it a little bit later. I don't want to jump the gun. I'm just so excited to get to this part. But yeah, so your career, when you became a DI, that was your 2nd enlistment?
My 3rd enlistment.
3rd. So what did you do? Well, let's start with, I want to say, I heard a video where your dad was in Vietnam. Let's go back to like what made you join the Marine Corps from the beginning.
Well, I grew up in Clarksville, Tennessee, which is right next to Fort Campbell, Kentucky.
Yep.
That's an Army town. I had Army neighbors across the street, and an Army guy next to me. I mean, there were several Army people, and I was born in '68, so a lot of my classmates, their dads was killed over there. I was this one girl I rode the school bus with. Her dad was killed over there. The guy I went to church with, he was a helicopter pilot. He got killed over there. I mean, so we were still going through Vietnam era when I was born and starting school at a young age, and it was an Army town. It was just Army everywhere you went. And my dad was Army. He got drafted during Vietnam, and fortunately didn't have to go.
Okay.
And he did his 2 years, and he always told his boys, he goes, you need to join the military. You need to stay 20 years.
Yeah.
He goes, if I would have done it, I wouldn't be sitting here trying to figure out how we're going to make it,
Yeah.
So I joined the Marine Corps. I I didn't want to be in the Army because there was Army everywhere. And then I love that Eagle Globe and Anchor because I had a neighbor kid down the end of the street. I used to go down to his house and play, and his dad was a Marine. And in the garage there, they had a closet. We got in there one day, got to do his dad's stuff. Saw his boot camp book and saw his chevrons. And what got it for me is that Eagle Globe and Anchor.
Yeah, man.
And the coolest thing, and I've said this on videos before that I posted, what got me is that Eagle Globe and Anchor. There's nothing more beautiful than that Eagle Globe and Anchor symbol there. That little
Yeah.
metal piece right there, whatever color it is, black, gold, whatever. Most people think, and that's why I joined the Marine Corps.
It is. It's incredible how powerful it is, isn't it?
It is.
Like
And
crazy.
I used to go to the grocery store with my mom every Saturday, and back then they had the TV guides, the little magazine, the TV guide, and
Yeah.
always be military ads, Army, Navy, Marines. Every time there was a Marine ad, I'd rip it out there, and my wall was posted with Marine ads, so it was pretty cool. And of
You were
course,
like,
my Cindy Crawford poster. You
yeah.
can't forget about that one.
You were destined for it.
I was. So,
Yeah.
and then I was in a band, so I was a
And now
band geek
is that when
and
you enlisted into the Marine Corps as a band?
as a bandsman. But when I was in high school, I started playing trumpet when I was 12. So then I continued through middle school and into high school, and I was going to the upper mezzanine by the office, by the guidance counselor office, and I saw this thing, and it said Marine music. And right there it was, the big Eagle Globe and Anchor, and said Marine music. And I said, let me look into this thing.
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, shit, I want to be a Marine. And I'm kind of digging this trumpet thing right now. Kind of makes sense. So end up, took the audition and made it. And
There's an audition for it.
you have to audition. First, you got to make a certain score on the ASFAB. It's got to be, I can't remember what it is, but once you pass the ASFAB, you can qualify for the audition. They bring someone down. They audition.
Okay.
If you pass it, then they'll say, okay, you're basically qualified to become a Marine in the musician program. And then after you graduate boot camp, you go to School of Music in Little Creek, Virginia, the amphibious space there. And go
Okay.
to the School of Music, and that's 6 months long.
Holy shit.
Yeah, it's like 4 years of college music all crammed into 6 months. And of course, you got an audition when you get there, one midway through, and one final audition before you finally pass. And once you pass it, you're a bandsman. They'll give you the MOS of whatever kind of instrument you play, and then they send you one of the bands out in the Marine Corps.
So, what happens if you fail?
You're a truck driver or a grunt. We had a trumpet player. We had a trumpet player in my class, and this boy could not play to save his life.
Really?
And he failed. And they gave him a re-audition. He kept failing. So finally, he was gone. Next thing you know, we see him at the chow hall. He goes, "Did you see me earlier?" I'm like, "No." He goes, "I was spy rigging from that helicopter that was going over the chow hall." They sent everyone to LFTC, and that's where they do all the grunt training and shit. So he was hanging from a helicopter after that, and then he ended up going to truck driver school. But
so what unit did you get assigned to after you graduated?
My first band was Cherry Point, 2nd Ma.
Okay.
And I was there for 2 years to the date till I got my orders to Okinawa.
What's a day like? Like, what's your guys's? I mean, obviously, we know that the band shows up at big events, ceremonies, things of that nature. What's a 9 to 5 or whatever? Like, what's a normal day like in a Marine Corps band unit?
Oh, it depends on which band you're in. If you're a deployable band, it could be different. Well, my first band was the air wing, so we were air wingers. So it's kind of laid back like the air wing is, swing with the wing. And we just wore civvies to work every day.
Really?
Because we can't mess up our uniforms for the job schedule.
Okay.
So to save the uniforms, now if we had any business in a squadron or anything like that, we'd have to put the uniform of the day on, which is always Charlie's or Bravos, whatever. no camis back then.
No kidding.
Yeah. So, but to work, we just wore civvies for rehearsals. But the normal days, you have your morning formation, just like any other platoon in the Marine Corps. You get your morning formation, PT, whatever, and then we'd have like rehearsals or section leader time or training. If at Second Mall, we were an M60 machine gun platoon.
Oh, really?
So yeah, I was a machine gunner, so I had an M60 assigned to me as well as my M16. So when we go to the range,
that could be such an epic thumbnail for this episode. Like you with the trumpet with one hand,
yeah,
like M60 with the other one.
Oh, I love being the gunner, man. We had to go. We always go to the field and play war games. I got some stories about that too. I'll get back with you on that. We went to the field. They sent us the rear area security training course in Bogue Field, North Carolina. It's this week-long course. They teach you all the rear area security stuff because during the time of war, we are the CG's security force.
No kidding.
Yeah. So, and the generals loved us for that fact. And those were the ones that allowed us to wear civvies because they knew our work schedule. My first year at Cherry Point, through the end of May to the end of July, I slept in my rack 4 times.
No kidding.
We were on the road that much.
Wow.
They put us on a C9. We were going playing concerts, parades, doing whatnot. Come back, put our stuff in the dry cleaner, get it out, special delivery first, and we'd be on the plane the next day, out again.
Wow.
We had logged in, I think it was like, we got a CERCOM for that, and I think it was like 49,000 miles we put in 3 months.
That's like around the world twice, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But now a division band, Pendleton and Lejeune, and even Okinawa, 3rd Marine Division, when I was in Okinawa. Now I left Cherry Point, swinging with the wing. I check in the Okinawa, and I got to check in the division first. And I go to supply, and I get a Foot Locker. And in this Foot Locker, I got helmets, 782 gear, flak jackets. Oh, I'm like, what the fuck is all this shit, man? I found out what it was for, man.
Yeah.
Because we had to go to NTA in Northern Training Area. We humped, the year I was in Okinawa, we humped over 100 miles. And that was just in a year I was over there. 100 damn miles through MTA. So
what's the purpose of that? Like, well,
well, you're part of the division. If they deploy, you go with the division.
Okay.
So, like during the Gulf War, we had 1st and 2nd Marine Division, all they went, and then the 3rd Marine Aircraft Wing from El Toro. At that time, they were El Toro. They went. And of course, 1st and 2nd, they were part of Task Force Ripper. And they got the combat action ribbons through their efforts there. Now, during your guys' time, Afghanistan, the OEF stuff,
yes,
we had bands over there as well. And they were pretty much the security forces going on patrols and doing what have you.
Dude, no kidding.
Yep.
So I got to tell you a quick story. Back in September of 2024, we went to Peleliu for the 80th anniversary of the battle there. And we were at the Japanese HQ. And we were there with one of our buddies. He was an actor. He was Captain Haldane in HBO's The Pacific. Scott Gibson, Neil, myself, and Tracy Hunter. And we wanted to recreate. He had a picture whenever, they were in the Japanese HQ. And so we were going to recreate it. Just as we're there, these 2 vans pull up. Now, I want to say the day before or something, we were kind of joking about the Marine Corps band.
Right.
How
Everyone does.
It's always the grunts having to do grunt stuff, and we never get to do the cool stuff because we're like, oh man, we're going to get to do something cool for once. Usually the pictures you see of people doing cool stuff is like the band. It was the band that showed up. It was 3rd Mardiv from Okinawa that came in. We got the picture, and we had them all kind of sit around, like from the Pacific, and that kind of just became an ongoing joke. The captain gave us his card, super cool dude. Everybody was super cool, actually.
Yeah.
Now, I say this because it was like what, last night or 2 nights ago, you did a video on the Marine the band's been in Vietnam
Yes.
on Hill 327. And I just,
Correct.
you want to share that? Because I thought that was such a great, I was like, well, shit, none of us can talk shit on the band anymore.
Yeah. Well, it's always been interesting for me because when I showed up to the School of Music back in 1986, the senior enlisted was Master Gunnery Sergeant Mike, Top Mike. And he was, if you've ever seen a Master Gunny, he's the poster child for Master Gunnery Sergeant. I mean, the high and tight and just leather gruff, and he had this stack. And he had a combat action ribbon, a Purple Heart, and he was just the roughest. I mean, you'd be walking through the passageway, and if you were late for class, he was just like this. My clock says you're late. See me after school. And he'd PT your ass. If your boots
Yeah.
wasn't good, he goes, be at my residence at 1800. I'm going to show you how to spit shine in them boots. He was rough and tough. And our major, he was also a Vietnam vet. So it's all, and you hear the stories, and they get in the first band, and of course, all the senior enlisted, they're just Vietnam vets. You know, they're full of stuff. So I've been interested. And Luke Liu posted that, you know, the pogiest of the pogues. So I'm like, let me school you there, lad. And so I called up one of my old staff sergeants. Well, he retired as a gunny or a master sergeant. I don't know what he retired at, but he was one of my first staff sergeants. And he had come back in the 70s, you know, when they had khakis and satines. So he was up in that era. So I said, you know anything about it? He goes, no, but I know the guy to ask. So he got back to me, and yeah, he gave me the report. 327. They were part of the 1st Marine Division. They were guarding the line, and you know, the holes were 100 yards apart. So that was part of the problem. And then they didn't have time. They hadn't cleared in front of the line yet because there was no activity there months prior. So there was no action. So I guess they weren't worried about clearing the line. But the sappers were coming up, and they got closer to the lines. And where the band was at, they were overrun, I guess, hand-to-hand combat, and they got killed 5 of ours, killed 3 of them. 3 bandsmen got killed, 5 were wounded, but we took 19 of them. So that shit happened. That was just that incident. There's another instance that I don't know about yet, but I'm going to try to find out. The Marines were in Vietnam, and they were actually doing a concert, you know, and they got overrun. So they're doing a concert. They got their weapons right beside them. They got overrun. That's another instance. There were some people wounded in that. He referenced there's other actions we had killed in action and a lot more wounded. So, yeah.
Yeah, and I'm so glad that we met, and I'm so glad you did that video. And like I told you, when I did that live last night, and people were like asking me, they're like, so what's your opinion? Are band Marines real Marines? And I'm like, well, let me tell you.
Yes, they are.
Let me tell you what I just heard from my buddy Sergeant Jackson. And I was
The only
able
ones
to,
that aren't are the ones in the president's own.
oh, I'm sure they're probably the pogiest pogues.
Those are the pogies, the pogue. They start out as a staff sergeant.
No shit.
They are hired as professional musicians like any other Boston Philharmonic, New York Symphony Orchestra. That's how they're hired.
No kidding.
Yeah, and then they do that job until they retire or decide to get out.
Do they
And
go to boot camp at
they do
least?
not. They do not
I
go to
heard,
boot camp.
man, I thought I'd heard that before.
They do. Those do not. Now there are some real Marines in the President's Zone that start out in a field band, and they're so they're good. They want to audition to be in the President's Zone because that's their pinnacle thing. I guess it is a pinnacle job. So
Sure.
there are
Yeah.
real Marines in there. The drum major, the guy that has the mace, wears that big bearskin black Q-tip looking hat. Now he is always a real Marine.
Okay.
Always a real Marine. And 2 of the past drum majors I've served with. So one was my Lance Corporal, and I know he was a real Marine because he was my Lance Corporal.
Yeah.
So I worked with 2 of those in the fleet, 2 of the drum majors. So
now
they're always real Marines.
So you guys, because it's kind of rewinding back to when you went to school, your 6-month school. If I'm not mistaken, I mean I don't know, but I am a Marine, so I assume this. you guys, does like every weapon have almost like its own drill manual? You know what I'm saying? Like, you know how there's sword, there's rifle. Is it looks like they're like every weapon, every
Instrument.
every instrument.
That's
I
what
mean,
confused
I get
me, yeah.
listen, weapons of
It's their
opportunity,
weapon.
right? Every instrument is a weapon.
They can be
Right.
used.
But it looks like, you know, just like drill, like you hear things said and you'll see the trumpet up, you know, like it's all just it's click pop, just like with rifles. You guys, that's a thing, right? I'm not just
Yep.
envisioning shit.
Nope, it's all drill, and it's usually in time. So when you see the band and they go the horns up, you see them, they're holding their instrument, and then you hear
Yeah.
just like that. There's
Yeah.
a count, two count movement. So
So like
that's
so I guess like every weapon or
yeah, yep. That- okay,
every musical weapon has its own 2 count movement then.
okay. You say yeah, it does, it does. Now you say weapon. Now I think I posted a video. I don't know if you've seen this one, and this is about the New Orleans band back in the '70s doing the Mardi Gras parades.
No, but I saw the most recent band doing the Mardi Gras parade.
Okay, well, this is back in the '70s, and I've worked with several of these individuals when they were staff NCOs. But a Marine Corps band is a Marine Corps unit. You are not allowed to break our ranks. Like when we're doing parades or something, if someone tries to come through, you are going to get stiff armed and probably hurt.
Yeah.
Well, what happened? They were doing these Mardi Gras parade in New Orleans, and these people started messing with the band or whatever, and a big melee brawl. They got the band got in a fight with everyone on the street, and this one guy. Well, I knew him as a gunny. He was probably a sergeant or staff sergeant. He was playing cymbals, and he used that cymbal as a weapon, and he fucked somebody up. I mean, the whole band got arrested, from what I understand. And after he had hurt this individual with a cymbal, and I'm sure he did a little more than just hit him with a cymbal, because a 2-year lawsuit ensued after that. You know, it
Dude,
was
I'm
in
just
court
like
for 2 years.
I'm
But the
picturing a
whole
dude with
band
the
ended up in jail.
So yes, Mike, weapons.
weapons.
Yep,
I'm
exactly.
picturing a dude with the trombone, you know, like pow, like okay.
Yeah, because they're the front rank, so they get
Are
to
they?
do all that stuff. Now the only time
That's
we let
why.
people, the only time they let people through is if you're a network TV program. You got the cameras or whatever. They say let
Sure.
them through. Now, we do that for the Rose Parade. You know, I did 2 Rose Parades when I was on the West Coast in 29 Palms, and of course we let the cameras go in our ranks. That's the only time cameras are allowed in our ranks. And I think I referenced we were doing a 4th of July parade in St. Louis. And this is one of them Vietnam vets, Gunny, Fast Freddy Turner. He's out there drum major. We had this girl with these balloons, hanging these balloons. She had these tight, skimpy ass tight shorts on, and she just kept messing with the band. And finally, he's like, "Honey, you look mighty fine in them damn shorts, but you don't get out the hell away from my boys. They're gonna fuck your shit up."
Oh, dude, that makes sense. You got the trombone on point. Just
Yep.
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. Yeah, these are awesome stories. Like, who would have thought? You know, great stories.
Imagine making
So
a
what
noise.
So I'm originally from St. Louis. So who were you with when you ended up in St. Louis, and what
That was my
4th of
first
July?
year. I was with Cherry Point band at that time, second Ma.
And that was the 4th of July, you said?
Yeah, so that was probably in '87 or '88 that happened. But yeah, good times.
Dude, St. Louis puts on one hell of a they used to.
It was a perfect picture. I don't have the picture anymore. My ex-wife got rid of all that shit, but it was the band with the arch. Perfect picture. Band marching down the road with the arch right behind us. Oh, you couldn't get a better picture.
I'm gonna research it, man. I'm gonna look to find that. That'd be super cool, man.
So that had to been 88, 80, yeah, 88, I think probably.
It'd be crazy if I was there. Wouldn't that be fucking crazy? I mean, it's a real possibility that I was, because we went down there every year.
Yeah.
Yeah. That'd be super cool.
It was an awesome time. But we spent when I was in 29 Palms band, we spent a week in Guantanamo Bay, Cuba. and we'd perform with the silent drill team, do the evening parade ceremony with those guys.
Yeah.
So normally, the drum and bugle corps from Washington D.C., the commandant's own, always performs with them in D.C. all the parades, but I guess they were on leave or something or another commitment. So we went to Cuba for a week and did the evening parade ceremony with those guys. That was pretty fun. And talk about some prima donna kids. Damn silent drill team, they are prima donnas. We're talking Lance Corporals that think they're top shit. I mean, Lance Corporals, yeah, they got the best job and they're shit hot, but damn, what an attitude they came with.
Gonna see
Just
me in
need
the
to send the dude
commercials.
over with the trombone. Fucking
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was a good week though.
So you did 2 enlistments, and then what made you decide drill field?
I had the aptitude. So when I was in I could never pick up rank as a trumpet player. I was always facing getting forced out for rank limitations. So I was a Lance Corporal, POC Lance Corporal and I just picked up Corporal in my first enlistment.
Okay.
I was a Corporal for 4 years.
Wow.
A whole enlistment as a Corporal.
Wow.
I was a sergeant for 5 years before I got selected for staff sergeant.
Jeez.
So but anyway, I checked into 29 Palms Band as a corporal, a very salty corporal,
Yeah.
and they made me the police sergeant. And of course, I'm out there, and they pissed me off. So I got the whole band out there just sweeping the desert. And I'm just dogging them. I'm like, if it don't grow, it go. Come on, let's go. Staff sergeant called me on the carpet. He's like, man, Corporal Jackson, you can't have him out there for an hour and a half in the damn heat doing that shit and yelling at him. I'm like, he goes, but I like his style. He goes, you need to go to the drill field is what you need to do. So I'm like, okay, whatever. So still couldn't pick up sergeant. I had gone to several meritorious sergeant boards. I got insular quarter already and went up to a sergeant's board and didn't get that. And lost by a damn half a point. And I'm like, whatever. So I was getting put in my MSG paperwork, and then I got orders back to the School of Music again for the intermediate course. So I went to the school, went through that course, another 6 months at the schoolhouse, and then I put in for Paris Island. Went to the Paris Island band with the intentions of I'm going to be at Paris Island. I'm going on the street. So I did about a year and a half, 2 years in the band, and then put in my packet for DI school and got it. So that's how I ended up on the drill field.
So how long was your total enlistment? How long were you in the Marine Corps?
12 years.
12. So did
Yep.
you get out after the drill field then?
Yeah, I got selected for staff sergeant. Went back to Paris Island band. I had gotten married while I was on the drill field, which you should never do. And she was a Marine as well, and she got out 3 months before into my contract. So she went back home to mom and dad, and so I stayed back. And like I said, I was selected for staff sergeant. I got a little trouble. Well, I'll just tell you, I got a DUI. And the morning of my promotion, they said, go see the first sergeant. They said, Colonel ripped up your promotion.
Yeah.
I'm like, why? I said, I've been in 12 years. I said, blah, blah, blah. Colonel just has a heartburn for people. He's getting out himself, and he goes, I'm sorry, nothing I can do. They could have done all kinds of shit, trust me. They could have
Right.
done it. So I'm like, fuck it, I'm done. So never put my rocker on.
Yeah. I mean, that's awesome though, man. I mean, what I genuinely believe, like, super cool career that you had.
Yeah.
And then just like obviously like taking your time sharing that with us, like that's such cool stuff, things that I didn't know. It's always great learning things as well. So, we greatly appreciate it for sure.
Yeah. So there's 2 things I've learned that if you don't have to get married in the military, don't. It's a great single man's life job. Definitely don't get married while you're on the drill field. Now, I've seen drill instructors that have kept their marriages together while on the drill field. but I've also seen more than half their marriages end because of the drill field. But they get to marry it on the drill field. I mean, Jesus Christ. I mean,
Yeah.
she
Especially
didn't.
with this,
She didn't have a damn chance.
especially with the schedule you were sharing. I mean, that's
Yeah,
crazy.
there's no time for. You don't have time for a family, a wife, a relationship. I can't imagine these drill instructors that have kids and a wife and they keep it together the whole time. I mean, that's
Yeah.
amazing to me. But back in my day, it was very rare.
So since we've kind of come full circle back to the DI talk, there's something I've been wanting to do for a while. All the incredible comments from TikTok. I was like, man, because we did a reaction video. We did a whole actually reaction podcast. We were only going to go like 20, 25 minutes. We went a whole
Right.
damn hour. We want to get some reactions here from some of these stories. So this is a female recruit, and I love this. Well, she became a Marine. I love this story because the females don't really share things that happen like we do. Like we talk about shitting ourselves and pissing ourselves and all that stuff. This probably happened to her, but it happened to a friend, right? So, and I'm not going to use her name anyways. See if you ever heard one like this, what your thoughts are. Our heavy counted down a recruit taking out a tampon. And again, to put in a new one. She was in the rack next to me crying after lights out. I asked her why she was crying when she told me I was in shock. How so for people that don't know, counting down is like you put your sock on 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So like she counted her down, taking out her tampon and counted her down, putting in a new one. You've heard anything like that before?
I haven't heard that, but it doesn't surprise me, especially when there was a 4th battalion, because I know what we do to our male recruits. We're talking about, well, your girlfriend's back home, cheating on you, whatever. But I had, female drill instructor friends that I had known, and I'm like, well, what do you do? They was like, when I get them on, there is 3 miles of dick on Paris Island, and you ain't getting 1 inch of it. So shut the fuck up.
That's so good.
See, man, we need more of those stories. Actually, because since you live nearby, if you can land us and she don't have to be in anymore, or if somebody who's in and I don't know how the Marine Corps is. I know some people like.
Right.
There's mutual people we know that kind of got kicked out because of social media and stuff. But if you got one you can find for us to come on, man, I
don't know of anyone nowadays, but yeah.
Man, damn, them female drill instructors were vicious, man.
Yes, I was telling them earlier, when we pull up in the shoot the chow hall out at weapons or anywhere, and a female will come by, and I'm like, don't even peek, boys.
Yeah.
Do not peek, or I'm gonna let their drill instructors have at you. And like I was telling him, of course they're gonna sneak a peek, and here she comes, and just like a mad dog.
Oh man, there's 3 miles of dick. You're not getting
3 miles of dick on Paris Island, you ain't getting 1 inch.
That's hilarious, man. So another guy, my first week in boot camp, I saluted a full bird in our chow hall. So I'm not sure. I don't remember seeing full birds or stuff like that in the chow hall, but I'll continue. He was indoors with no cover, obviously. The colonel looked at him, smiled, and asked, "What's your senior drill instructor's name, recruit?" And he said he got absolutely thrashed, smoked in the chow hall, outside the chow hall, in the pit before lights out, and then got smoked for like 3 more days straight before chow to remind him Marines do not salute indoors unless they're wearing a duty belt.
That makes sense, but I've never seen a full bird colonel inside of a chow hall. Hell, I've never seen the colonel in the chow hall, lieutenant colonel.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, that was the thing too, right? I remember seeing the series commander from maybe time to time, which I believe was a first lieutenant.
Yeah,
could be
the company
captain.
Commander or captain, maybe. That's it.
Saw the captain like during final inspection and graduation. Like I actually still remember what that dude looks like for only seeing him twice. I don't remember his name.
Yeah.
We did see our first sergeant. I remember his name. I remember how he looked. We saw him from time to time. And also when I went through, so when I was going through, Iraq invasion was taking place. And they came in, and again, I don't know if there's truth to this or if this was just to scare us, but they said, hey, O3s, once you qual, like, you're good to go. Like,
Yeah.
you might be gone. You might be out if they need you.
Right.
I don't know if that was true or if that was just kind of like a scare tactic or something, how legit it was. But
No, that's a pretty true thing. And I made a comment on someone else's video on TikTok recently about just that topic. When I was a recruit, nothing was going on. I mean, we didn't even have national defense. I didn't get a national defense medal until the Gulf War broke out.
right.
So we were just training, and we were doing Vietnam tactics, jungle warfare tactics. We wouldn't teach you what they teach now, the house to house, war to war, urban combat scenarios.
Yeah.
And that's what they're teaching now. But I mentioned one of my recruits that retires, the first sergeant. Now, back when he was on the street, he's actually had some of his recruits that were killed in action over there.
Yeah.
So they were training for the shit. A platoon going, knowing damn well they're going to be over there, and like he has several that didn't make it back home. So, and he remembered them. He remembered them individually too.
Man, it's crazy. So, like, after 3 deployments and being out, what, almost 20? It'll be 20 years next year. Being out 19 years. That is something I never thought about. Because we talk about the mental health and survivor's guilt and all that different stuff. And man, one thing that we've never discussed is, like, if a DI happened to keep track of any of their recruits, and then, I mean, I'm sure that's got to fuck with you a little bit. Like, you train that guy.
He's made posts on it, and he's mentioned it before. I remember this kid by name, and I remember, remember the day he died and stuff, and yeah.
Yeah.
So
yeah, it's crazy, and that's why I like I said, I never thought about that, but even thinking about that now, before thinking about it, just all the hard work and everything that you guys do to put into making Marines.
Right.
It's really impressive.
I mean, you don't really awesome. Know them personally. You have your good recruits and you have your bad recruits, but you can't remember their names. I mean, I can only remember the names of the really, really bad ones. And that's it. The good ones, I always recognized they were good, but, I forgot their names over the years. But, yeah. But you never get to know them personally. Well, I know some of mine personally now, due the power of, the TikTok and Facebook or whatnot, that we've reconnected and stuff. I've had some come back and visit me because they knew I was in the band. And they'd come back to the band hall and look me up, and we'd talk. Or I'd be in Beaufort Walmart and run into somebody I trained, or going to the gate at the air station, and right there on gate duty is my guide from when he graduated boot camp. I knew he was going to be an MP, but I didn't know he was going to be at the air station. There he was. Hey, that's my guide. People are like, "What do you mean, your guide?" Man, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, wow. That's super cool. Well, we greatly appreciate you. Everything. I mean, you found our videos, and
I love your stuff. It's great.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad you did, because then I've been, checking out everything you're doing, and for everybody watching, we're gonna drop in the comments links. Do you have anything other than TikTok, or is TikTok the only one you do?
TikTok's the only thing I'm really doing. I mean, I'm on Facebook, but I don't post anything there.
Yeah. Now, Sergeant Jackson posts awesome videos from the bunker.
Yeah, I just started this not too long ago. I got the camouflage netting, and I'm like, well, shit, I got my bunker now. So I just like, well, fuck it, let's go with it, man.
No, dude, it's an awesome setup. You need to teach Neil how the fuck to put a backdrop up for videos. At least he's got the listen. Neil's made a huge for everybody following us. Let's recap. You got rid of the Apocalypse Now fan. That's gone. That's gone. You've got a Marine Corps flag up. That's huge. All 3 of us have the flag.
It's a work, man. It's a work in progress.
But what's super cool about your backdrop is it says drill instructor. And so when I was watching your TikToks, I'm like, I was like, man, this guy's cool as shit, and he's a DI. I'm like, I'm gonna shoot him a message, see if he wants to join us. I'm sure it'd be
Yeah,
great.
that sign. One of my buddies from TikTok, Sergeant Sandog. He goes, "Hey man, would you like me to make you a sign? I mean, that'd be great, man." He goes, "Shoot me your platoon numbers and the years and all that kind of stuff," and voila, that's where she rests now.
That's awesome.
Yeah, that's super cool, man. But yeah, so for everybody watching, like I said, we're gonna drop the link. Go check out Sergeant Jackson's videos. They're awesome. They're hilarious. They're informational as well. Because like I found out about the Hill 327 Marines from the band. That was super cool. Great to
Thank
hear
you.
it. And then be able to share it last night on a live and just, you know, really, really great stuff. Is there anything else before we dip out of here that you want to share with everybody out there in
No,
YouTube and TikTok land?
I appreciate the opportunity, fellas, and man, I'd love to come back because I got tons and tons of more stories.
Yeah.
I mean, we didn't even get it. We went to the field playing war games, and
We didn't.
second mile recon got waxed by the band. We didn't get into that story.
That's a good teaser for the. Oh, I'd love to do a follow up for sure to do a part 2. Yeah, absolutely. I'm down. That'd be great. And maybe
Yeah,
Neil will be here
anytime.
the whole time.
I won't be a UA next time.
But
worries.
tell everybody why you weren't though. Like it's not UA. This was an excused absence.
It's excused, yes.
It was pretty awesome. Like before we drop, tell everybody why you weren't here.
All right, so yesterday I took my daughter to the USS Alabama. So I'm from Pensacola, Pace area, so it's just not even an hour down the way. And she mentioned it, brought it up, so we go out there, get on the Alabama, you know, take it all in. Well, 10 minutes down the road from the Alabama is Eugene Sledge's gravesite there in Mobile. So why not go pay our respects? It's just right around the corner. We go there, and I see that it's. And I've been there before, just on my own. The last time I was there, it was kind of dirty. The headstone was dirty. The writing that's on there, you couldn't really make it out. Well, I noticed this time around, just last night, that it was all cleaned up. And I was like, oh, that's cool. I mean, I better take a picture of this and send it to Henry, Eugene's son, his son. And it couldn't have been any sooner. It couldn't have been any longer than maybe 2 minutes after I sent the picture that Henry gives me a call. He goes, Neil, it is so crazy. It's so crazy that you sent that picture to me tonight. Because I'm actually going to be on the way down there. Andrea and I, his wife Andrea and I, are going to be coming down there for the Marine Corps League. They were going to set up like a little ceremonial kind of a thing. Remember, it's 25 years on the 3rd is whenever Sledgehammer passed. So they were doing like a little ceremony, kind of a 21 guns kind of deal, just speaking some words about Sledge, and it was really cool, man. It was they did it up nice. Bubba Jackson was a Marine who actually served with Sledge. He was there, 97 years old. He's still sharp.
Oh wow!
Jeez.
Yeah. He was a China Marine as well. Because
I hope you got his information for us, because
yeah. I got a card and everything from those guys, man.
Nice.
Good job, man.
So yeah, man, it was cool. My daughter, her again taking more of this stuff in, man. She's into the history, and her dad's a Marine. And
Good deal. Good deal.
So yeah, man, I've been running around all weekend, from Alabama here, doing that kind of thing. But yeah, I wouldn't ever miss anything like this. Please, I hope you don't think this is disrespectful.
Oh no, not at all.
No, because I wouldn't miss it. I wouldn't miss it for the world, man. But it was pretty phenomenal last couple of days.
Yeah, that's awesome,
Nice.
man.
Yeah.
And also, you're gonna have to wait till Tuesday now, Neil, to I don't know if we closed the case on the guy shitting on the toilet and saluting the OOD, but that's how we kicked this whole episode off.
I was gonna ask about that. I was like, well, I've only been here for about maybe 30 minutes, but I haven't heard it yet.
we started big, man. We started big, and then we got into it. So
yeah,
well, awesome, man. Again, Sergeant Jackson, we appreciate you, man. Love everything you're doing, and
I appreciate the opportunity.
We'll do a round 2 for sure.
All right.
Everybody watching, we love you guys, man. Appreciate your support. Don't forget to subscribe so you can see the next ones that drop. Don't miss out on this stuff. And until next time, Semper Fi.
Semper Fi.